All right, everybody, welcome to the Church of Infinite Spirit. I am so glad you are here today as part of our 4th of July celebration and being a part of this community where we can be transformed and be connected and be inspired. My name is Reverend Allie Sweeney, and gosh, what do I want to tell you? Usually we meet in person, but we get to do this on Zoom. So feel free to change whatever Zoom parts of this that you like, your settings, and turn on your video, turn off your video, whatever makes you comfortable. We'll keep everybody muted just because background noise can be difficult. But otherwise, just sit back and relax and know that this is a community that our mission is to inspire spiritual freedom, that we could support people in knowing themselves as spirit and as part of the consciousness that creates this universe. And we support that joyous transformation that comes from knowing yourself as spirit. We are a non-dogmatic, non-judgmental, just pretty comfortable sort of place. So I encourage you to take what works for you, leave the rest. Our intention is to inspire you to find your own truth rather than convince you of ours. So, how we like to get this church service started is by a short meditation. So I'd like to invite you to participate with me, and I'm going to have you close your eyes. So if you want to change your video settings before you do that, go for it. And then when you're ready, close your eyes and take a big, deep breath. Let your body settle into the chair or whatever you're sitting on. Give that body a hello. Hello, amazing body. Notice just what's happening in your body. Give it a brief scan. Maybe notice any places that are trying to get your attention. Watch your breath filling your lungs and releasing. And we're going to work with some energetic tools, the first of which is called a grounding cord. So I invite you to become aware of your spine and all the vertebrae in your spine and your upper neck and your upper back and your middle back and your lower back, all the way to your tailbone. And I want you to imagine that there's a colored beam of light that comes from your tailbone and it goes through whatever you're sitting on. Just let yourself play and imagine that that colored beam of light can go right under your chair, through the floor, through whatever's under that, to the layers of the earth. Watch it grow and extend through the bedrock, and it's going to keep growing all the way to the very center of the earth, and let it connect there. So you have this connection, a grounding cord from the base of your spine to the center of the earth, and it's a release. For any energy you don't need to be carrying, worry, fear, judgment, control, competition, whatever it might be that you don't need at this moment, feel that invitation to let it go. You might even let yourself play with the idea of where that energy might be coming from in your body and watch it head down to the center of the earth, where it's changed and recycled. The next step is to bring your attention to the center of your head, allowing your sixth chakra to open. Just bring your attention behind your eyes and between your ears, right in the center of your head. Your sixth chakra is your place of intuition, of clairvoyance, And it'll naturally open as you place your attention here, behind your eyes, between your ears. Give that body another deep breath. Settling into this space. Now I'd like you to imagine that you're sitting inside a large soap bubble. This bubble's big, it's an arm's distance in every direction. And give that bubble a color and see it above you and below you, in front of you, behind you, to the sides. And let it be an energetic boundary. That everything inside this bubble is yours and everything outside is something else. And a gentle reminder that all you can control in this life is inside this bubble. Your actions, your reactions. And let's take a moment to replace some of that energy that's been releasing. So imagine that there's a giant golden sun above your head, like a big golden ball. And if there's a vibration you'd like more of in your life, love, joy, freedom, independence, write that word on that golden sun. Let that light absorb and become that vibration. And then imagine there's a hole that forms in the bottom of that sun and that light pours into the top of your head. And it's going to fill every single cell in your body, from the tips of your ears to the base of your throat. Notice what it feels like as it flows through your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists, your fingertips. Let it flow through your spinal column and your central nervous system and all the amazing systems in your torso, filling you from the inside out, on down to your hips, your thighs. It's going to keep flowing through your knees and your ankles and your toes. And there's so much light that it's going to spill out the bottom of your feet and fill that entire bubble surrounding you. Surrounding you with your light and your energy, the vibration that you chose. Let's have another deep breath in this space. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. You can stretch your body. Oh, it feels good to stretch. That felt good. Thank you for joining me. I am so excited to have you here, all of you here on the 4th of July. When I realized that I got to be the minister for the service on the 4th, I realized that I got to give a talk about freedom and independence. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. And the mission of this church is to inspire spiritual freedom. So what does spiritual freedom mean to you? To me, it means connecting with me as spirit and being free to be me through a connection with all of me, my body, my mind, my spirit, and all there is. Like that old song, because you and me are free to be, you and me, right? I can't sing, but you get the idea. You're free to be all of you. And if you were free to be you without restraint, who would you be? Today, I want to encourage the freedom to be all of you and talk about some of the things in our lives that create some limitations on our freedoms. And I kind of think of freedom like this spectrum, like we've got freedom on one side and then like all this unfreedom or whatever the opposite might be, or trapped and limitations on the other side. And one of these opposites of freedom is being wrong. Many people aren't free to be themselves because of judgment. Judgment they inflict on themselves, or the fear of judgment from others, or the pain of feeling judged by others. Where are you making yourself wrong? And where are you making others wrong? If we assume something is wrong with us or wrong with the energy that we carry, we are trapped in that judgment and holding these things against ourselves. Sometimes we push these things away. And grounding cords are amazing tools. They offer us the opportunity to release that which isn't serving us. It's a simple and amazing tool, as you just saw, especially when we notice and name an energy and it releases. That might sound like, oh, there's that energy, and it releases. Sometimes, though, we're pushy or judgy. And that might sound more like, I cleared this energy already and it's still here. What's wrong with me? What if there was nothing wrong with you? What if you were free to be you? Let's imagine someone with anger in their heart. If they decide that anger is wrong, it doesn't help release it. That judgment could inflame the anger, make it feel even worse. Recently, a friend and I did a chakra clear out, and instead of pushing everything out, we embraced all that we are. We saw fear in the first chakra, and we surrounded it with love. We reminded ourselves that we were doing the very best that we can, and this part of us was innocent and afraid. We surrounded it with love because it's with us, serving us in some way. And from this comforting embrace, the most amazing thing happened. It melted away. Sometimes we push really hard to heal, and the pushing actually keeps us right where we are, bringing in more fear or whatever the energy, because we feel trapped in a belief that we should feel better now and that there's something wrong if we don't, or that we'll feel better if it finally clears. So if that pain or that fear or whatever ails you has your attention, it has your attention, and that's likely where you are. That's that unfreedom, the trap. So is there room to accept where you are? Have, encompass, love that part of you that's afraid or a victim or judgmental. And then is there room to accept where your fellow humans are? I traveled by airplane a couple of times during COVID. I assessed my risk, and I decided it was safe for me to do it as long as I wore my mask and I stayed distant and washed my hands. But when I got there to the airport, I had to regularly remind myself that I was not the mask police. I chose to wear my mask. Others did not. And every time I saw one of them, I wanted to yell at them, "Put on your mask." I didn't actually yell at them, but in my mind I did, until I would catch myself. Feel that surge of energy, the fear that it created in me, and remind myself, I am safe. I am not the mask police. I am not responsible for their choices. There are all sorts of people out there that make choices different from our own. And can we feel safe in our choices even when others choose differently? Can we feel safe in our choices and not make the other person wrong? To feel free and safe, do we need to control other people? Or in my case, fantasize about controlling other people's mask wearing. We are co-creating our universe together. Can I truly be free if I deprive others of their freedom just so I can be right? In a world where we are one heart, our judgment of others' choices creates judgment for us all. And how much energy do I expend pretending to control things outside of myself? A lot. I am free when I also allow others to be free. I can guarantee you that everyone in that airport knew that mask wearing was the rule. There was no need for me to try to change their behavior through my words or my thoughts or my actions. Yet when we don't feel safe, control is often the go-to. And control is another one of those opposites of freedom. How do freedom and control work together? I invite you to consider that safety creates freedom from the need for control. And as I wrote that part of the sermon, a song kept playing in my head, Control by Janet Jackson. It's an oldie. If you don't know the song, you can picture one of those 80s pop hits. Janet Jackson. I used to blast it in my Walkman with my headphones. Anyway, her song lyrics go like this. Got my own mind. I want to make my own decisions. When it has to do with my life, I want to be the one in control. And I'd say that's what everybody wants, to control their own life. So I invite you, take control of your own life and let the others in your life take control of theirs. And consider what controls other people have placed in your life and choose whether these are helpful to you or not. And of course, a lot has happened in this pandemic. And here we are today. We're in this phase where masks are not required in many places. And as we took off our masks, many of us feared the reopening without structure. We weren't sure we were safe in these places of more freedom, less lockdown, less constraints, more people, more events. We'd been told for so long to be afraid that it took a while to remember how to be free of that fear. For me, it felt even kind of strange. My mind had to remind myself I was safe without my mask. My kids were safe without their masks. I had to get still and ask myself, what is my truth? Am I safe? There is freedom in making your own choices based on your truth. That is the essence of spiritual freedom. You being you, based on what you believe to be true in this moment. That's one of the beauties of this pandemic, actually. There was a lot we didn't know for sure. We don't know why some are long haulers. We don't know why some people have a reaction to the vaccine and others are completely asymptomatic. You get to be you. Do what makes you feel best. And what you decide matters. If you've got a boundary that matters to you, hold it. My kid is about to start a new school, and their school motto is, I matter, and I know what matters to me. That's one of the gifts of this pandemic, is to know that you matter. And you also get to decide what matters to you. Allow yourself this freedom to decide what matters to you. This church matters to me. My family matters to me. My health matters to me. These are the choices made from freedom. Taking the time to figure out if our fear is real or if it's unconscious or imagined or unnecessary. My family uses part of a Sanskrit prayer I picked up in a yoga class as a grace before dinner every night. And we say, May our thoughts, words, and actions contribute in some way to the happiness and freedom for all. I love this prayer because it can encompass the personal self and the galactic well-being all at the same time. Yet for me, I really have to focus on including myself in that for all at the end. I am a part of the all, and so are you. May my thoughts, my words, my actions contribute to my happiness and freedom. My thoughts, my words, my actions, my freedom. How empowering. I get to create my freedom with my thoughts and actions and words. And in what ways am I not doing that? I invite you to consider this question for yourself. How am I creating my freedom with my thoughts, words, and actions? That idea helped me to realize that my thoughts and my words often tell me that I'm trapped. I use the words inside my head to create this idea that I'm trapped into doing chores, into taking care of my kids, into showing up for work. Until Margaret Johnson, one of the ministers of this church, introduced me to the idea of freedom in. When I talked to Margaret, I was so very worn out and tired. And I thought I wanted freedom from all of these things in my life. But it was confusing because I wanted all of these things in my life all at the same time. And what Margaret encouraged me to do was first, take way better care of myself. And second, find freedom in. I could choose to feel free in my life, my choices. My thoughts could contribute to my freedom. And then I didn't need freedom from most of it. I wonder if there's space for this distinction in your life. What are you trying to escape? Are you really wanting out? If so, what's the first step you can take? If not, how can you take even better care of yourself and then find the freedom in your life? I also love that for all part of that Sanskrit prayer because it addresses us as individuals and as part of the collective all. The 4th of July is also about independence, Independence Day. And from a colonial perspective, we left the motherland and there was freedom and independence for our ancestors in that declaration and for us. Independence is a wonderful attribute for our lives. It really is what Janet Jackson is talking about when she says she wants to make her own decisions. Yet sometimes I've seen it confused in our world, that independence means going it alone. And those 13 colonies, they didn't go it alone, they came together. Independence does not mean separate. To be independent, you do not have to be alone. You do get to be in the driver's seat of your life, make your own decisions about what matters, but you're not alone. From your inner connection with your soul, your true self, to the whole connection of all there is, you get to be a part of it. You are a part of all there is. And from there, the illusions, this us versus them, or right and wrong, or you being less than, or left behind, or unwanted, those illusions become clear. You are a part of all there is, needed and unique, all for one and one for all. And I'm also discovering that there is freedom in support. You do not have to do this journey, this spiritual journey, or this human journey alone. You get to do it your way. You are spiritual freedom embodied. And you get to bring your own unique dance to the party, where we'll celebrate our freedom in and from all that constricts and binds and lessens and limits and traps. And I invite you to celebrate all that is powerful in you, all that is independent, and how that strength brings an interdependence that can be celebrated. We are all one. And sometimes you may feel like the lonely candle shining in the world. And consider your essence, your connection to all. Remember, your light is an essential candle in this bright, bright, bright sun. And I'm hoping you'll take advantage of summer energy. It's July, we're just getting started. It's getting really hot. And in our house, summer comes with its own energy. The routine of school stops and we become a little bit more free of our routine. I'm a double Virgo. I like routine. But I recently found the motivation to develop flexibility. I don't want to be really old and stuck in my ways. I want to be really old and flexible to try new things. I don't always want to be on the straight and narrow path. Sometimes I want to embrace the 3 dimensions of possibilities around me. I have to admit that I find comfort and safety in doing things the way I've always done them. But every time summer arrives, I'm reminded, shake up that routine and be more open to the opportunities that are presenting themselves and find a few more yeses. Yes, how I have always done something is comfortable. But how many choices are you making out of comfort? And how many choices are you making out of inspiration? Even if it's a little scary because you haven't done it before, freedom could say, I see you, fear. I'm making a new choice anyway. And for many of us, pain has become our norm. And in a weird way, it's comfortable because it's what we know. It doesn't make logical sense, but fear isn't logical. Is there a place to invite a shift in your habits, in your routine, to broaden the narrow path to infinite possibilities of the universe? And as you consider that choice, I remind you that you're not alone in taking this choice. You're part of the collective and a universe that is conspiring for your highest good in every single moment. I remind you of this to remind us all that we can do this. And when we are free to bring more love, more kindness, more grace for all. When we feel trapped, we often choose lower vibrations, judgment, lack, jealousy. So take some time this summer and consider what is limiting your freedom. Where can you choose freedom in? What do you want freedom from? And choose that change. And how can you love yourself even more? What would help you solidify the idea that you can be independent and connected? As we do with this church, I'd like to invite you to do another short meditation. So when you're ready, just close your eyes. Maybe watch that breath fill those lungs one more time. And notice your grounding cord. You can create a new one if you want to. You can see the energy flowing through it. Let it be easy, playful. And then find that center of headspace behind your eyes, between your ears. Play with bringing your attention right to the center of your head. Let's try a loving embrace of ourselves and let our thoughts and words and actions contribute to our happiness and freedom. Just take a moment to notice your body. Notice what's getting your attention and notice if there's a place that's particularly tricky or sticky or painful. One of those places you might usually push on to get it to release. Just let yourself play and imagine what that might be. What that might be in your body. Maybe judgment, maybe fear, maybe control. Where is it? What does it look like? You can invite it down your grounding cord. You can also bring your energy, your light to it. Surround it. Love it. Accept that it is here. Maybe be with it instead of insisting it has to go away. And just listen to what it has to tell you. And imagine that big golden sun above your head. It's your light and your energy. And let that light, let it form a hole in the bottom of that sun and let that light pour into your body. Let it find that particularly tricky or sticky or painful spot. Continue to imagine allowing your energy into it. Often when something is painful, we recoil and pull our energy away. Think of your hand near a hot stove. And instead, I want you to imagine flowing that energy, your love and kindness into that area. Flood it. Expand into it. Surround it. Hold it in your loving embrace. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes, you can stretch your body. We're coming to the end of our service, but this would be the part, if we were in person, where we would pass some baskets and we would ask for your donations in support of our mission. And so if it feels right to do so, we invite you to go to our website. It's innerconnection.org. You'll find the sanctuary page and you can make a donation from there. We just ask that if it's right for you, that you choose to. There's no obligation to give. And there's a lot happening at the Inner Connection Institute. Some fun things coming up. I think there's a in-person gathering and some new classes starting. Lauren, if you want to pop on at all and give people details, by all means do. Or you can also check out the website at innerconnection.org.
Yeah, we are having an in-person little party on July 24th from 10 to 1, which is very informal, like a snack potluck. So bring a snack if you want to. And we'll just meditate and visit and trade healings and catch up. And then later in the month on the 21st, we're starting the Ministers Program for graduates of Living with Spirit or Clairvoyant Mastery. And thinking far ahead, we have a class for new people starting in September called the Awakened Empath. So that's something to check out on the site too, on the classes page. I think that's it.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Allie.
Thanks, Lauren. Appreciate it. So I just wanted to close out our service today. Matt Kahn is a spiritual leader that I love. And he said this, I felt like it fit with today. He says, to find this truth and embody it fully, we must dare to love ourselves more, not less, no matter the time it takes to change, regardless how often we seem to miss the mark, And despite the kicking, screaming, begging, and pleading that only needs more of your loving support to shift old patterns into new possibilities. Dare to love ourselves more. I think we can do it. And I challenge you to take the opportunity to just simply love yourself more to a crazy making extent. What if you just walked around all day, just loving all of yourself, every single part, being grateful for all of you? And what if you did it again tomorrow? How can we add more love into your life? Fill your life with love. Your love, it feels good. You are loved. Don't let your love be less important than someone else's love. The love you have for yourself is infinitely more important than the love you receive from others. Sometimes I think we get into this unfreedom trap of thinking that we're not lovable if it seems like no one else truly loves us. And somehow the own love we have for ourselves is not as important unless there's somebody else around loving us. And I want to bust that up. Loving yourself even more is the most important thing you can do in this life, because from there, you will be who you were always meant to be, free to be. I sincerely appreciate your time and attention on this 4th of July, taking a break from all the barbecues and fun stuff that you have to come and spend some time with us today. This concludes like our official service. If you want to jump back into your life, feel free to do so. I'm going to turn off the recording and have some social time. So if you want to turn on your cameras and chat a little bit, you should also do that.